Parents are concerned tonight after two shooting threats at two Knox County schools just this week.
One of those threats was made using an anonymous messaging app. 10 News reporter Daniel Sexton spoke to a tech expert, law enforcement, and Knox County schools about the threats.
Knox County schools have received two threats in 1 week, one here at South Doyle Middle, the other here at Bearden High. Some of you have reached out to us asking what's going on.
On Thursday night, students at South Doyle got a threatening text. On Wednesday at Bearden High, students got this message from an app called Free Nolly saying someone was planning to shoot up the school. We asked tech expert Luke Wood about the app.
So this is a tough one. The reason it's a tough one is these apps are a dime a dozen, not just with threats, but with cases of like severe cyberbullying, cases of people being driven to suicide.
Wood says the app isn't branded the way it was used at Bearden.
The creators of this Feed Nolly app say like, oh, it's intended for corporations and no one under the age of 17 should be using it, but that's not what's ending up happening.
Knox County Schools released this statement saying in part, we will investigate with our law enforcement partners every threat that we are made aware of. Knoxville police didn't offer any details of that investigation, like who the anonymous student or students might be, or if the nature of the app will make the suspect hard to track down. But a spokesperson did say, we have investigators that are aware of the different trends in apps, and we are constantly training on the way apps work and people communicate. With new apps being developed every day, Wood says it falls on parents to keep a close eye on what their children download.
Look at your kid's phone, look at what they're putting on the phone. Don't just trust that they're making the right decisions because they don't always know what the right decisions are and they don't see the danger inherent in apps like this.
Now, while both of these threats were different, one was a text, one was an app, they both have one thing in common, and it's important to consider when questioning what a motive might be. Both of these threats were scheduled for this Friday, a Friday before fall break. Back to you.
All right, Daniel, thanks a lot.